Hi everybody, I'm Rick Beato. In today's Everything Music, we're going to talk about the diminished scale. This is going to be the first in a series of 5-minute primers on every scale, from every mode and every auxiliary scale that there is. So we need to first talk about a diminished 7th chord. Okay, so in this case we're going to pick the key of F. So we're going to talk about an F Tonic Diminished Scale. That would be F, G, A flat, B flat, B, D flat, D, E. Okay, now to say it properly, I'd have to say F, if I just take the arpeggio, A flat, C flat, E double flat. Okay? So a diminished 7th chord has a root, the flat 3rd, a flat 5th, and then a double flatted 7th. Okay? Well, there are the extra scale tones that, and this is a whole half diminished scale. The tonic diminished scale that goes over diminished chords is a whole half, meaning it starts whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. You're back to the tonic. So, essentially, you have the diminished 7th chord here, the root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, double flat 7, and then up here you have the major 9, which would be G, the 11th, which would be B flat, then you have the flat 13, which is D flat, and then the major 7th, which is E. So that spells up here, you guessed it, that's also a diminished 7th chord. That's a G diminished 7th chord. So you got the root, flat 3rd, flat 5, double flatted 7th in the from a G diminished 7th chord. So if you take a diminished 7th chord and you go up a whole step from the root of the chord, so in this case F, if I go up a whole step, that's to G, and you start there and you play a fully diminished 7th chord, you get all the upper extensions of a diminished 7th chord. So root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, double flat 7, the 9, 11, flat 13, major 7. So if I just have a chord like that or like this, that's what I would call a diminished major 7th chord, okay, because it's diminished chord with a major 7th. So any of these, if I did something like this, that would be a diminished major 9. I could have the 7th in there as well, double flatted 7th. Okay, I could have the 4th in there along with the 9th. So understanding these upper extensions are really important in understanding the scale. Just understanding that relationship, that to get all the notes of a tonic diminished scale, which is a whole half diminished scale, you can simply take a diminished 7th chord, go up a whole step or a major 9th, so from F to G, and play another fully diminished 7th chord, so a G diminished 7th chord, and you get all the notes of F tonic diminished. And these are all the upper extensions. The other thing to figure out from there is what are the major, minor, and Lydian triads in it. So if I'm in the key of F, well, one of the ones, so I've got F, G, A flat, B flat, B. So right there it gives me a clue. So I can see G, B, D. So once you know that, if you go up a whole step from the root of the tonic diminished chord, you will get your first major triad. Okay, and then that major triad, which would be G major, can be made minor, or it can be made Lydian. Okay, so you've got G major, G minor, G Lydian. And then if I move up a minor 3rd to B flat, I can play B flat major, B flat minor, B flat Lydian. And if I move up minor 3rd to D flat, I can play D flat major, D flat minor, D flat Lydian. And if I go up another major minor 3rd, I can play E major, E minor, E Lydian. So those are all your triads in the tonic diminished scale. You also have 7th chords, both dominant 7th and minor 7th chords. So G dominant 7 and G minor 7. So I've got, and if I move up B flat, I've got B flat 7, B flat minor 7. If I move up to D flat, I've got D flat 7, D flat minor 7. If I move up to E, I have E7 and E minor 7. Those are your 7th chords in the key of F tonic diminished. So you can take any of those triads and you can stick them over an F bass. And you start to get some interesting sounds. You can take any of the Lydian ones that I had done. I can take this. I can take that. I can take. Then you start getting into some really cool sounds. You can also take your straight diminished 7th chord and you can play those different triads on top. I did a G major triad, I did a G Lydian triad, I did G minor triad, I did B flat major, B flat Lydian, B flat minor, and so on and so forth. You can also do those 7th chords over that. So I can take an F diminished 7th chord and I can play an E7 chord over it, or E minor 7th, and I sound. Great sound. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. I'm Rick Beato.